What's up, everyone? It's your boy Scott, and welcome to the Scott Report. And today we are here to talk about Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch From Mercury Episode 2, and it looks like our resident red suit of doom has entered the fray this week, and if tradition is still being followed, the red mobile suit is usually piloted by a masked character, and so far we know one character in this series who wears a mask, and that is Lady Prospera of the Shinsei Development Group, who we were formally introduced to in this episode because we did see her in the prologue. Now, she claims to not be a witch, and that the Ariel is actually an advanced drone and not a Gundam. Being that she represents where Eri comes from and all, it raises a question if Eri was actually sent as more of a sleeper agent. That's something I always had a suspicion of, especially seeing what the plot was going to be about from this show. But it doesn't seem like Eri's that type of person. She's a little bit too carefree, and she wouldn't intentionally be an agent of chaos, would she? Even though she is sent there with a weapon that was banned and excommunicated by Delling. But maybe that was the whole point, and Lady Prospera could be the mastermind behind it all. She could very well be spearheading this whole war that we are going to see between, Earth and Space Noise and whoever else is involved, and she probably just wants all the Gundams in her possession, or maybe she's just making her own, or maybe I'm just theory crafting like hell, I don't know. The biggest takeaway from this is that Prospera was wearing the same cybernetic arm as Eri's mother, which could mean that she is her mom. But she also may have taken on the identity of Lady Prospera. Maybe that couldn't be true because we saw Lady Prospera in the prologue. Or maybe Lady Prospera actually was Eri's mother all along. I don't know, but this is so good, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we love about Gundam. Just the little mysteries and things like this that are being plotted from the beginning that pays off and makes its way until the end slowly. It's the things like this that I really enjoy. Another tradition that never changes in anime in general is that the second episode is usually when things slow down after hooking you in from the first episode, and then it starts to take the time to explain what this world is and start to expand the setting of the story. In this episode, we explore the focus of the series overall, and that's the hatred that seems to be between the residents of space and Earth, and how the Academy and the Bearer Group feels about Earth in general. Which isn't good, by the way, as a lot of the prejudice towards Earth and a lot of things that's going on are being spearheaded by Delling himself as an agenda. But the Earthlings, are they really the bad guys here? Of course, it's probably going to be no, or it's probably going to be depending on what side of things you're on, because even though the Academy is who we're being introduced to, and these are people that we're going to spend the most time with, we don't know the full story about Earth and who they currently are and what they're fighting for, outside of Delling just being a scumbag. And that's the true essence of Gundam, the gray area, and being able to understand both sides of the battle. We'll see the trace of this strife on the kids as well at some point, and we're starting to see that early on. For example, like we had one student who just basically was saying, Earth is scum and that's just the way it is. While Nika, who we've already seen is more of an open mind, she feels that this is just wrong. You shouldn't have this perception of people. Also adding to the fact that she is from Earth as well, that's just the type of thing that we're going to see, just the prejudice and how people feel, and space racism between Earth and Earth people of space. And shout outs to Choo Choo. I know she's going to be a very popular character. I mean, come on, she has the pink hair, she has kind of like the afro puffs going. She looks really cool, and Choo Choo, her personality as well. She has everything it takes to be a popular character. She's more brash about her feelings towards the Regal Spacians, and she won't be pushed around. She's like, you're the ones that are holding us back. And whenever people are like bullying Nika, for example, she's like, you don't have to take this. You're not going to take these from these people. We can stand up for ourselves. People tend to look at the people from Earth in disdain, and with Nika, her side of things, she's probably only there for her exceptional talents, probably much like Eri, and she's, for all intents and purposes, just being used as a tool for the people who deem themselves superior over the people of Earth. So just because they're there, the space people or the space noise or the Spacians as they're called, that doesn't mean they have to like them. That's how they feel about it. And Nika, she's a little bit more passive in her way, as she just keeps her head down about the prejudice that's going on in the schools, just keep going on about her day, but she still has that sense of justice about herself as well. it just looks like Nika and looks like Choo Choo are going to be the main friends for Eri in this story, and I think they're going to be good friends for her to have, especially with them kind of being two sides of the same coin, both of them experiencing, even with Eri, all three of them just experiencing how everybody else kind of looks down on them. Kind of forms a bond between them being different. They're probably all special, and we're gonna get a nice group of friends with these characters. And then of course you have Miorine, who is just not down with her father's cause, as her rebellion would fuel the conflict between her story and Suletta's in itself. And in a lot of ways, and we touched on this a little bit last week, it's gonna be kind of a Romeo and Juliet type of story for both of them soon. Miorine, her father makes every absolute decision for her. Her father decided to not only make the decision for her to pick another groom, he also wants Miorine kicked out of school. Her father just has absolute control. Every major decision of her life is through him, and she's just straight up tired of it. These are the reasons why she wants to escape from Earth. That and, just rebellion, being a teenager, being told what to do all the time, and having someone just being in control of you at all times, it just wears you down. And I must say that the group that was sent to help Miorine escape to Earth, they're pretty thorough. I mean, even with the attempt that she tried to make last episode didn't work, it was still somebody that was there in the wings, in the shadows, like, hey, you still want to escape because, you paid us, so we want to go ahead and make sure we do our job. So I just wanted to point that out. That was pretty cool how that person was still there, just making sure that they do what they need to do for that. And it kind of brings in, and to me, it brings in, that's the weight of things, of how people want to escape and how serious this kind of classism is between the people of Earth and the people of space. And as far as Suletta goes this episode, she is in trouble immediately at the top of the episode due to her battle with Gyul and her suit, the Ariel, being a Gundam, which is a product of Ox Earth, which we all know is banned. All Gundams, and probably by extension their pilots, were supposed to have been destroyed or at the very least halted after the proposal from Delling made way back in the prologue. If you notice, the Ariel and the Lefrith from back in the prologue share a lot of similarities, but they are not the same suit. Since the Ariel is a new model, I think it was way more likely that it was modeled after Lefrith, since that was her mother's suit. But back to Suletta, she's taken into custody after she entered the premises with a Gundam, and we do get a confirmation that her mother's alive. She's assigned to somewhere called Lagrange 1. Her mother was a part of the Vanitas Institute that created the Gundams, and they were part of the development of the gun project that in the long run causes major damage to the pilots. And the pilots are called witches, by the way, hence the title, The Witch From Mercury. So that's the title, how it ties in, and how it relates to Eri, or Suletta, or whatever you want to call her in this series. There are a lot of hints that Vanitas and the Shinsei development group, who Mercury represents in the Bear group, are being blackballed as well, because they're at the very bottom of every category within Barrett, and they're really looked down upon. People are even surprised that they can make suits, that they are just seen as industrial miners, but we know way better than that, and I'm pretty sure Delling knows better than that as well. Miorine demands that her father allow Suletta to duel her again for her freedom, and her winning also advances the development of the Ariel going forward from Lady Prospera, because although these suits are illegal, money, that's always going to be the end result. Another character we're formally introduced to this week is Elan, who looks to be the sleeper best boy, but what interests me about him is the fact that they're highlighting that he just refuses to fall in love. So I want to know what his deal is and his interest in Suletta. I mean, he went out of his way to bring her food and keep her company during her captivity, but he's more fascinated that she's a witch, and perhaps he has some type of past related to this, or it could be just general attraction that could cause a triangle between himself, Eri, and Miorine, who, even though she mentioned her marriage was only tied to the holder, but the visuals that we get for this series and everywhere really does show that they're going to go all in with this relationship between Miorine and Suletta, or Lord help Gundam if they don't. The fan base might tear the series apart if they don't. And it also looks like we may be getting some redemption for Gyul next episode. I admit, I was a little hurt to see the type of person that he was, because off glance it seems like that he would be like the bro type of character, or somebody that you would want to get behind, or somebody that you can really enjoy watching. But seeing that, just like every other kid there, he's just a vessel being used for his parents to keep power and play for their family. And with all these kids being in their late teens, I suspect rebellion from them all, because they're all fed up with their parents' ways and the way that the life is in this world that we're in. And we see, much like Miorine, Gil is probably going to want to carve his own path in life and not follow the path that's predetermined by him for his parents. He may be a little bit reluctant to it at first because he's always going to follow his father's orders, but at the same time, I think he has the potential to be a standout character once he gets on the same page with everybody else. And just by saying that, I think I kind of know where this series is going, where maybe the kids are going to get in their Gundams and going to fight back. I mean, we know these kids are going to be in the Gundam and fighting, but maybe they'll be fighting for their own freedom instead of it just being space versus Earth, even though I'm sure that's going to happen too. It's a lot of ways that this story can go, and that's what I like about the series so far. In a lot of ways, and someone in the comments mentioned this last week, is that this feels a lot like Turn A, because how we're getting a little bit of this slow burn. I mean, we're getting Gundam action. We didn't get any this week because, again, it's the second episode that was building on, expanding the plot. A lot of this does feel like Turn A, where in most places it feel like it's a slice of life, and then once they finally get into space, things are going to get real, except this time they're already in space, so you don't have to wait 20 episodes like Turn A. But I'm getting off subject. But that was also all I really wanted to talk about in episode 2, so that's it for this week. Another fantastic outing by Gundam, and it feels good to have it back, and I can't say that enough. But let me know your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Are you with me that Lady Prospera is actually Aries' mom, or do you think she's somebody else? I mean, the arm is there, the reasoning is there for it to be her mom, but the part that has me a little bit confused, and maybe I just overlooked it in the prologue, is that when all that was going on, Lady Prospera was there at the conference when Delling did his thing, unless they pull some type of trippy time thing, where maybe that was after, she got away or before she got away with Aries at the end. But anyway, that's it. Let me know what you thought of this episode in your comments below. And as always, if you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell so when I drop a video, you'll know. As I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me. I really appreciate that, so thanks for stopping by. On that note, it's your boy Scott signing out. See you soon.